Hot hatches are great, aren't they? Fast, fun and affordable. But there are some badges which are more synonymous with hot hatch heritage than others. Peugeot, Volkswagen, Ford, Honda. What you don't automatically think of is Hyundai, but you really should, because it recruited the former boss of BMW's M division and in 2018 created this, the i30N, and then in 2021 it got a baby brother, the i20N. But are they any good? Before we find out, remember to like this video and hit subscribe so that you catch all of our latest videos. Just click here. Do it, click here. The i30 costs just under £34,000 in manual spec, whereas the i20 costs about £25,000. They do have plenty in common though. Both cars get a mechanical limited slip differential to help with traction out of corners. Both feature adjustable drive modes and both have screens that show you cornering, Gs and lap time modes. Oh yeah, and they both come in this fetching shade of baby blue, though other colours are available. This is not a regular twin test. This is a chance to see which of these two very different hot hatches plays its respective game the best. First, let's look at the practical bits. Yes, I know boots aren't the most exciting bits of a hot hatch, but they do matter, and both are impressive. There's a bracing bar in the back of the i30, which despite its benefits, does rob a bit of boot space. So there's 381 litres here, but that's still just as good as you're going to find in a Focus ST or Volkswagen Golf GTI. Looking at the i20, it's reasonably good for a small car. There's 352 litres. It's just a bit of an awkward shape. There's no such awkwardness of shape back here in the i20N. Legroom is really good and you'll be more comfortable than if you were squeezed into the back of a Fiesta ST. Our only complaint is that there's not much lateral support back here. Not so good if the driver gets all excitable on a twisty country road. From a rear seat point of view, the i30N is a less impressive car. Despite having slightly more premium materials and a bit of sideways support, leg room is less, which considering it's a larger car is quite annoying. Headroom, however, is plentiful, which is great if you're a fan of hats. I think I can definitely fit another one here. If it was a top hat, that would be even better. First thing to notice is these seats and the illuminated N here, which is a sign you're in something special, although it does cost £600. That said, it's pretty much the only thing other than these two blue buttons that give you any indication that you are in something special. We'll come back to these later. But although the interior of the i30 is a little dull, it's very well thought out. The driving position is spot on, the high-set central touchscreen is easy to see, and the physical heating controls and shortcut buttons make the interior much more user-friendly than in rivals that are overly reliant on touchscreens. The old-fashioned dials on the instrument cluster are a bit of a surprise too. There's nothing wrong in principle with them, but they are a bit fussy and cluttered, making them difficult to read. Now, the 2021 update of this car added several £1,000s to the price, but you do get a lot of equipment. There's automatic emergency braking, heated seats and steering wheel, climate control, cruise control, tiredness alert, blind spot monitoring, wireless phone charging, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, the list goes on. Which is perhaps understandable at £34,000, but what do we get for £25,000 in the i20? Let's find out. Well, it doesn't look great. These plastics are shiny and hard feeling when you tap them, and a few flashes of blue doesn't really do much to lift things. That said, the seats hold you tight without feeling uncomfortable, and the digital instrument cluster is much clearer and more useful than the old style dials in the i30. The 10-inch touchscreen is also very impressive for this sort of car and is sharper and more responsive than the 8-inch screen you get in a Fiesta ST, this car's main rival. We have a similar roster of kit here in the i20. There's no blind spot monitoring or cruise control, but you do get sat-nav, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto and wireless phone charging. And a lot of the kit that you get in here either isn't available in the Fiesta ST or you'd have to go for the top spec ST3 model. So they both represent really good value for money, and that's largely down to how much standard equipment you get. But what really matters with a hot hatch is how well they drive. So let's start with the i20, shall we? The first thing you notice about the i20N is how intense it is. Even in normal driving mode, everything fizzes with energy. When you change gear, it's positive and mechanical. The steering is well weighted, and the brake pedal has just enough resistance that makes you want to brake hard and late. The little i20 corners like a roller skate too, with seemingly no body lean and loads of grip. You can really feel that limited slip differential working to pull you out of corners. The i20N can get even more hardcore if you want. Press this N button, and as well as the pretty cool graphic that is displayed right in front of you, you get the differential, the throttle and the exhaust all gets cranked up to about 11. And if it doesn't immediately make you want to sign up to the Monte Carlo Rally, then you need to hand in your petrol head membership card immediately. The trouble is, you can't really attack every road as though it's a rally special stage. In fact, in congested Britain, we spend most of our time stuck behind other cars, and this is where the case for the i20 starts to unravel. You see, the i20N really only has one mode that it's very happy in, and that is maximum attack. Because if you just want to cruise to the shops and back, it's a little bit irritating. That stiff suspension moves you around a lot, and the steering is tiresomely heavy, and if you're manoeuvring on full lock around a tight car park, that limited slip differential hops and creaks quite a lot. There's no doubt that on the right road it'll put a huge smile on your face, but so will a Fiesta ST. Yet the Fiesta ST also delivers a more comfortable ride, and in fact the Fiesta's less firm, more compliant suspension helps it feel more in control on a bumpy back road when you want to have a bit of fun. The i20N does have one sensible card to play, and that is fuel consumption. Hyundai says that you will get an average of 40.4 miles per gallon. We've got 35, and we've done, well, a fair bit of accelerating, so we think that's pretty good. In isolation, the i20N is an utterly captivating car. It's fast, fun, well equipped and decently priced, but it is a bit wearing as an everyday car. So what about the i30? If the i20's nemesis is the Fiesta ST, then the i30's is a Volkswagen Golf GTI, and it's an equally challenging rival. It has to be both the back road tearaway and a super sensible family car. So how well does it do? Well, it has the sensible bit nailed. Stick everything into normal with the driving mode button, and the i30N is comfortable, refined and a great car for a long journey. That's partly because the drive modes include adaptive suspension, which is a trick the i20 doesn't do and which costs extra in the Golf. It does well in the power stakes too. It's got 276 horsepower versus the 242 of the Volkswagen Golfs. You'd have to spend an extra £4,000 if you want to outpace this by going for the top of the range Club Sport Golf, which has 296 horsepower. There's just two problems with so much power going to the front wheels. The first of all is that it will spin its front wheels in second gear, and the second one is the torque steer. As you can see, it pulls at the steering wheel, pulls left to right, and that torque steer is a little bit disconcerting. Anyway, the i30N is much more composed in the corners. Pitch the i30 into a bend and it feels agile without losing composure. That limited slip differential really helps it to give a lot more traction than you might be expecting. That is until the turbo's torque overwhelms it. The trick to driving this car is to ride that torque and change up a little bit early, which is a pleasure to do so with this 6-speed manual gearbox. You can also get a dual clutch 8-speed automatic, but we really like this manual. Less excellent is the fuel economy. We've got around 25 miles per gallon during our time with this car, and although Hyundai hasn't released official fuel consumption figures for its updated N, that seems disappointing when a Golf GTI would most likely give you around 31 to 32 miles per gallon in everyday driving. If you're wearing your sensible shoes or bothered about brand image at all, then a Golf GTI will be a better bet. It's cheaper to run and you won't need to explain to everyone what it is that you're driving. But crucially, you will have more fun if you go for a Hyundai i30, and with this sort of car, that's a big deal. You know, in some ways, it doesn't matter that a Ford Fiesta ST is more fun to drive than one of those, and a Volkswagen Golf is more sensible than one of these. What really matters is that Hyundai and its N cars are focused on making fast cars fun. And for those of us who like performance cars, that is a really, really good thing. Which one would you prefer? Let us know in the comments. And like this video and subscribe to the Car Gurus UK YouTube channel. And when searching for your next car, remember to visit cargurus.co.uk, where you'll find great deals from top-rated dealers.